City Council. May we have a roll call, please?
Council members: Friedman.
Here.
Manukian.
Here.
Najarian.
Here.
Weaver. Here. Mayor Quintero.
Here. Mr. Ochoa.
Yes, sir. We have for you today, if I may interrupt just really quickly, allow me to read the item and I'll be quick. The agenda for the May 15, 2012 special public meeting of the City Council was posted on Thursday, May 10, 2012 on the bulletin board outside City Hall. And this is a public hearing, Director of Community Development, regarding final project entitlements for Five Star Cinema to be located at 128 through 130 North Maryland Avenue. 1A is motion approving Stage 1 and 2 design review subject to comment and conditions of approval. B is motion approving creative signage subject to conditions of approval. And C is motion approving sign variance subject to conditions of approval.
Mr. Ochoa.
Yes, sir. We have a very interesting proposal, a new type of cinema for the the budding arts and entertainment district, and we have some requests for design review and a sign approval. Really, as Zematitis will do the honors.
Thank you, Mayor, member.
I'll open the public hearing.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. What you have before you is a five-star cinema requesting three entitlements for City Council approval. The first being a combined Stage 1 and Stage 2 design review board. The second being creative signage, and the third being a variance for 10 wall signs, essentially changeable copy poster boards. The project is located at 128 through 130 North Maryland Avenue in the Maryland District of the Downtown Specific Plan Area. It's located in the core of the Arts and Entertainment District. The project involves the renovation and remodel of the former Mann Theaters in the Exchange. And the property is currently undergoing an intensive interior improvement with the replacement of 2,500 existing theater seats and replacing those with 508 luxury seats. The project includes also the conversion of the adjacent restaurant space that was previously the Salo and Salo Grill. That restaurant space is going to be the new lobby area and dining area for these luxury theaters. The property also is going through a major exterior renovation that would include a new glass lobby, a new curvilinear steel and frame canopy that's going to be above the existing courtyard area, new signage, and also architectural lighting. The project's combined Stage 1 and Stage 2 submission packet has been reviewed by our Urban Design Studio staff, complies with the design guidelines of the DSP, and there is a detailed staff analysis in your staff report. The second entitlement before council for approval would be the creative signs. There are two creative signs, the first being a new LED band that's proposed on the Maryland facade that's going to be incorporated within that new design canopy, and it will highlight upcoming and playing attractions. The second creative sign is a projecting roof sign that is proposed along the Wilson elevation that harkens back to historical theater marquee signs. Again, these two creative sign proposals have been reviewed against the creative sign program design standards by our Urban Design Studio staff, and they are being recommended without conditions. The final entitlement before you is a variance for 10 changeable copy wall signs. Each commercial business is allowed essentially one wall sign per elevation. The project is proposing 10 changeable copy signs. 4 of the 6-foot by 8-foot poster signs are proposed along the Wilson elevation, while the remaining 6 poster boards are proposed on the easterly side of the building facing the corner parking lot on Louise and Wilson. Again, this is because theaters typically have additional poster signage showing upcoming attractions and ongoing movies. Staff is in support of the proposed variance, and findings have been included in your staff report. That concludes staff's hopefully brief presentation. The architect is in the audience and is prepared to give greater detail into the project.
Questions from this?
Maybe a question for the architect, but that spike,
Yes.
what's the spike clad in?
clad in, actually, I'm
Is it
going
stucco?
to, it's actually, I believe it's metal, and forgive me, the creative sign is supposed to represent a film reel.
No,
So
I don't
as the
mean-
movie.
I don't mean the part going around it. I mean the actual, that spike that goes through
I believe
it.
it's perforated metal with light shining in the inside. So I will leave that question actually to be answered by the architect.
Okay, thank you.
All right, if there's no question,
Actually, there is a brief movie that is actually being,
Would you like to show
there you
that?
go.
yeah, let's see it.
Please. And R. Malajajian from Malajajian and Marcusi Architects.
Oh, just like Rick Caruso, taking you through it.
Don't think it's running well.
If you want to go ahead and start, and then I'll try to run it off the DVD.
Okay, why don't you start with your presentation, your name for the record, and then
Thank
the
you.
city clerk can get the...
For the record, my name is Aram Alajajian. I'm the principal architect of Alajajian Marcusi Architects, one of the partners. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. The proposed project in front of you is technically transforming the existing movie theaters to a new look and a new entertainment center. What we're proposing here is a reduction of number of seats, as you all can see, from 2,500 seats down to 508 seats, and which will bring in food and entertainment all together. And we will be covering the passageway, which is open to air right now. You can see it on a right. We're taking you through the courtyard. Those are the space frames, and above the interior courtyard, which will be covering that court area.
Are those like wicker balls? What are those? Are they lights?
The spheres, yeah, they're light elements. You're looking at the east elevation, which is the alley side, where the poster boxes will go, and a Wilson Avenue elevation, and we're looking at the Maryland elevation here. So technically, the restaurant becomes now the entrance of the theater. The previous theater ticket booth was located far in the middle of that court, where it wasn't noticeable for the pedestrian. It wasn't accessible. Now it will be sitting in the court. Now you can see the entry lobby. The complete renovation is going to happen in the entirety of the project. We're going to have a bar and a lounge area. We're going to have an area where people could dine or take their drinks in. We have a piano bar area, which would be enhanced with a fireplace, and a 10-plex cinemas as before. The luxury seating would be provided. Those seats are individual seats. They would have a little tables in there and a command buttons that you can actually order from the restaurant. And this is the sort of a night shot. And to answer that question, that element would be made of from the corrugated metal, and we'll have an LED lighting. And the cinema is planning to have some premiere movies. When they're premiering the films, it will be light shooting up out of that, called the reel coming out of that. So that's basically the concept here. Ready to answer any questions you have.
Okay, any questions for the architect?
Well, I'm not sure. I have questions on the business model, so maybe you're not the best person to answer that.
Well, I believe Mr. Astorian is here on behalf of the ownership. He could answer those questions as far as the business model is concerned. But it's similar to movie theaters that are fastly growing right now throughout the country. There's one in Pasadena, Gold Ticket Cinemas, if I'm not mistaken, or IPIC Cinemas being developed in Southern California. They're more of a luxury seats theaters where individual seats could be reserved, and they're numbered. You basically get your ticket either electronically, or you can buy your ticket right at the cinema and go into the cinema. And if you don't want to have any dinner, you're free to just get it ticket and go to watch the movie.
Any idea what the ticket prices may be?
Well, I've been told by the ownership, normally those we checked around the country, and it varies from anywhere from $17 to $29. In Pasadena, they're $29. They're starting at $19. That's without the food.
Right.
But this is highly sophisticated cinemas with the digital sound and a technology equipped, and the people who has been in those cinemas, they testify this is one of a lifetime experience that we'll be having over there.
Questions? Okay, Mr. Historian?
Mr. Mayor, members of City Council, my name is Greg Astorian. I was and am the broker of record for the property. To answer any questions that you may have, I can wait and start with answering questions, or I can start by reiterating the experience that I had in leasing this property. It was a journey, to say the least. It involved about 1.5 years, nationwide search from clubs on the scale of very high-end entertainment to educational companies that wanted to come into the city. And finally, we ended up with really repositioning the property in a manner that saves the property itself, but brings in or breathes in new life into the corridor along with the property. With that, I'm ready to answer any questions you may have.
I have some. I would like nothing more than to see this become a successful, long-term entertainment venue for the residents of Glendale and the region. It's a very unique concept. I'm concerned, though, that just a few blocks down, there's going to be a Laemmle Theater. Would you and the Laemmle Theater cannibalize the type of filmgoers that would come to see, let's say, a foreign film because I think you had mentioned in the newspaper a month or so ago in the news press that you anticipated presenting some foreign films and art films, which are very much the genre of the Laemmle, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not the movie guy. Is there any danger in having two theaters showing the same genre of movies so close to each other?
No more danger than having two hotels next to each other. The more the merrier, Councilman Najarian. However, I have to tell you that just a little bit of background on the ownership of this theater. It started with a distribution. The mother company, the corporate head, was a film distribution company worldwide. First-run movies, not necessarily art, and not necessarily foreign, or not necessarily referring to or providing movies that are second or third run. These are all first-run movies. That's called, and the name of the company was MGN Distributorship, basically. So the answer to you is the type of the movies that will be run will be no different than what is being run in any other movie theater in the country, except the experience is different. This experience, and that's the whole idea. The experience of going to a movie is changing within the confines of these walls. So it's a luxury experience, and it's not for everyone, but it's for a lot of people. Now, it's interesting that you bring that up because I was talking to Mr. Hagani about demand studies and gap studies and the concepts like leakage and surplus and so forth. That's a study that we've done on this theater in the city of Glendale. In fact, that's something that this council, in my opinion, my humble opinion, should very seriously look into with the redevelopment having gone and so forth. This is a brand new way of doing business in order to attract businesses in different industries and different retailers and offices and business into the city of Glendale. We have done that study, and it's been stellar.
Questions from Mr. Story and Mr. Weaver?
Just comments.
Thank you.
I'd just like to say Usually in building something like this, you'd say, how many parking spaces do you have? Since you're going for 2,500 seats to 508 seats, parking demand is going way down. That'll be a pleasant scenario for one time. And when it was originally built, I hated those signs fronting on Wilson. And with what you're doing now and putting them alongside to the entrance, drawing people in from the parking lot, this is a much better improvement. I love the design stuff, and I certainly plan on going there and eating and watching movies when I save up the money for a ticket.
Mr. Manukian.
Just for the record, I just remembered I lease office space on Brand and Broadway on a month-to-month lease. Would I have a conflict in dealing with this issue?
Assuming it was within 500 feet, given the fact that it's a month-to-month lease, those are not subject to that rule, so you wouldn't have.
Okay. I like the project. I think it's great. For years, we've been talking about Maryland, breathing some new life into it and those theaters, and we talked with so many people in the community regarding renovating the theaters and doing something new. And this concept is certainly a great concept for that area, and I think it will do what it's meant to do. And I do believe that there is a market for it here in the city of Glendale. However, I'm very upset. On the other hand, I'm very upset that this project is coming to Glendale, and I will consider voting against it because it's going to cost me an arm and a leg. I got to tell you that. And I don't know how I'm going to vote, but like I said, it's a great project. I can't wait till it's done, so that I can go and charge on my credit card. I won't wait to save money. So, there.
Friedman, you're next.
Yeah, it's great to see a dynamic project that invites the community in through its design, come into Maryland. We were just talking about the Arts and Entertainment District, and I think it's going to take a while, but this is a big step in that direction. And I do think that we will have a time where Brand will continue to be retail and restaurants, and Maryland will be where we will have the movie theaters, the clubs, that sort of thing. So I think the design is very nice. I'm glad that spike, whatever you want to call it, is not stucco, as I had feared from looking at the renderings. I'm glad that it's a more interesting material. But it's a very nice design, certainly a huge improvement on what was there before.
Mr. Najarian.
No, those are my only concerns, and I hope it is very successful and brings a lot of people into the exchange.
Right, I'm very excited about this. I know it's been a long haul for the property owner to try to get a tenant in this site. And to me, this particular theater, I think, is going to actually provide synergy for Lemley. Lemley won't be sitting alone. It's going to have and excited this whole restaurant lounge, the way it comes out to the street. I think the LED, I was hoping it was LED. When I saw this, I thought, gee, that's just a total knockout. I've seen this in foreign countries, unfortunately, not in the U.S., but the state-of-the-art LED, I think, is really going to invigorate this whole street. The design is great, as you usually expect from this particular architectural firm. I think they've done a great job. It's going to be great for all of the other merchants and restaurants. I think this is going to draw people. Not everyone will perhaps want to eat in this restaurant or the theater itself, but will go across the street to Pierre Gardens or whatever's there. And then Wilson Avenue certainly needs to be perked up, and the current facade is just a big zero. This will absolutely let people know that there's a theater right around the corner. So all in all, this is great. I think Mr. Astorian made a good point in terms of trying to put together some studies economic development studies that will tell us what type of...
Maybe we can borrow his studies instead of
Yeah,
paying
actually,
for
we can
it.
start by...
Could you provide us those studies?
We can.
So we don't have to pay for it?
Start by using his proprietary studies, but it's something that I think our economic development team has to take a look at, and we have to take a look at in terms of what's out there, what's the potential, where are we losing either shoppers or entertainment people. So anyway, I'm all for it. Do I have a motion to...
Close the public hearing.
I'll close the public hearing.
Move 1A, B, and C.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmembers Friedman,
Yes.
Menuchyan, Najarian,
Yes.
Weaver,
Aye.
Mayor Quintero.
Yes. What's
I
next?
I have some new business.
Is there, no, well, we must adjourn this meeting and then,
Oh, this is, sorry, wrong agency.
I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We are adjourned. The special city council meeting is adjourned.